Hey, Sloan here. I want to tell you about the day my husband called a company meeting to announce he was leaving me. 200 people in that room, his investors, his clients, his team, and me standing at the back in the blazer I had picked out for him for his first ever investor pitch. 9 years ago, he stood at the front and he talked about new beginnings and moving forward and the next chapter of his journey. And I listened and I thought about one thing, the contracts. Because every single major contract that company had ever signed had my signature on it, not his. Miney, my name is Sloan, and this is the story of the 9 years I spent building something for someone who forgot I was the one holding it together. I was 24 when I met him. He was 29. He had a laptop, a dream, and exactly $11,000 in his bank account. He talked about the future, the way some people talk about a place they have already been, with total certainty. He was going to build a tech company, something real, something lasting, something that would matter. I was a project manager at a mid-sized firm. I had been there 3 years. I was good at making things work, at finding the problem before it became a crisis, at keeping 10 plates spinning without letting a single one fall. He said he needed someone like me. At the time, I thought he meant personally. I was right. And I was also completely wrong. We got married 2 years in. Small wedding, his family, my family. A restaurant we loved, and a promise that felt real because it was real. He said I was the reason he believed he could actually do this. I said I believed in him completely. Both of those things were true. The problem was that one of us stopped believing in the other about 7 years later, but I am getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you what building someone else's company actually looks like. It does not look like press releases and investor dinners and product launches. Those are the visible parts. The invisible parts are what I did. I was the one who read every contract before he signed it. Every single one. I caught 3 clauses in year 2. That would have cost us the company. If they had gone through, he presented the revised terms himself. He did not mention who had caught them. I was the one who managed the team. When he was too excited about the vision to notice that 3 key people were about to walk out the door, I had conversations he never knew about. I made offers he never signed off on because I knew he would say yes if I just handled it. He was the one who built the client relationships, not by being charming at dinners, though I did that too, but by being reliable, by knowing what people needed before they asked for it, by being the person who always called back, always followed up, always made sure the thing that was promised actually happened. His name was on the company. My fingerprints were on everything inside it. Year 3, we had 12 employees. Year 5, we had 40. Year 7, we had over 100. Year 9, we had 214 people working in a company that had started with a laptop, a dream, and $11,000. And somewhere in year 7, something shifted. He stopped asking for my input. He started saying I built this. Instead of we built this, he started arriving at events and accepting congratulations and telling the story of the company in a way that had a main character, and the main character was not me. I knew before I admitted it to myself. That is the honest answer. The signs were there the way signs always are, quiet and specific and easy to explain away if you are not ready to stop explaining. He started working late, not occasionally. Consistently, he started being protective of his phone. In a way that was new, he started being slightly too interested in how he looked, in a way that had nothing to do with me. And there was a new energy about him. Not happiness exactly, more like anticipation. The particular energy of someone who has something they are looking forward to that they have not told you about. I noticed all of it, and I filed it away. And I kept working, because what else was I going to do? The company was mid-cycle on a major deal. We had 3 client renewals coming up. I had 14 things on my plate that only I knew how to handle. So I kept handling them, and I kept watching. And one Tuesday afternoon, I was in the office going through contracts when I saw an email on his screen. He had stepped out for coffee. He had not locked his computer. The email was from someone on the team. Young, new, someone I had hired 6 months earlier because she was talented. The email was not professional. I stood very still. I read it once. I closed the tab. I sat back down at my desk, and I thought very clearly for about 30 seconds. And then I did what I always did. I went back to work, but this time while I was working, I was also doing something else. I was building a door nobody tells you how to leave. Something you built. There is no manual for extracting yourself from a life that has your name. woven through every part of it. But I was a project manager, knew how to plan. I called a lawyer on a Wednesday morning. From the parking garage of our office building, I told her everything in 1 hour. She said I was in a strong position. I asked what that meant in practical terms. She told me. I wrote it all down. Then I went back upstairs and managed a client call and approved a vendor contract and handled a staffing issue. And no one in that building had any idea what I had just done. Over the next 60 days, I did 3 things quietly and carefully. First, I documented everything. 9 years of contribution, 9 years of contracts I had negotiated, clients I had brought in, problems I had solved, decisions that had been mine, even when his name was on them. Second, I moved my personal finances, everything that was mine alone, into accounts that were mine alone. Third, I started talking to people, not gossip, business conversations. The kind where I was thinking about what came next for me, not for us. For me, 60 days. Then he called the company meeting. He stood at the front of the room, in a suit I had not picked out for him, which told me something had already changed. He talked about growth and evolution, and the company entering a new phase. And then he said he had a personal announcement. He said his marriage was ending. He said it was amicable. He said he wanted to be transparent with his team about his personal life because they deserved honesty. He said he was looking forward to the next chapter. People looked at me. I was standing at the back. I had chosen to stand at the back. I had a coffee in my hand. I took a sip. I did not cry. I did not look away. I looked directly at him, and then his head of operations, who was standing near me, leaned over and whispered, "Did you know about this?" I said yes. She said, "How long?" I said, "Long enough." She said, "What are you going to do?" I said exactly what I planned. After the meeting, he found me in my office. He said he was sorry for the way it happened. He said he hoped we could be civilized about it. He said the company did not have to be affected by this. I agreed with him on that last point. The company was not going to be affected because the company was about to find out what it actually ran on, and it was not him. Settlement took 8 months. I will not share every detail because some things do not need to be public. What I will say is this: the lawyer was right. I was in a strong position. 9 years of documented contribution, 9 years of contracts with my signature, 9 years of client relationships that had been built on trust in me personally. The company did not collapse, but it changed, and the story of who had built it became considerably more accurate. In the months that followed, I started my own firm 6 months later. Some of those clients came with me, not because I asked them to, because they had always known who they were actually working with. I am Sloan. I am 37 years old. I work in an office with my name on the door. My actual name, not as someone's wife, just mine. And every morning when I walk in and I see that name on the glass, I think about a 24-year-old who believed in someone completely, and I do not regret that belief. I regret that it was not returned. But the work I did was real, and real work does not disappear. Just because someone tries to take credit for it, it has a way of coming back to you. If you are patient enough to wait, thank you for being here tonight. Tell me in the comments, have you ever built something that someone else took credit for? Subscribe for a new story every week. Good night.